Well, I'd like to welcome everybody to our Fladgate Sofa to Sofa. I'm Jenny Sargeant, I'm a partner in the real estate team. I'm welcoming today Tim Foley, who is head of our real estate dispute team, because as a litigator, Tim has quite a unique perspective on this particular trend. Tim, what is it that you're seeing in addition to that reassessment of space?
Well, good afternoon, Jenny. It's undoubtedly the case that we're in the middle of a great shock to the office market at the moment. So we have obvious implications of COVID-19 to the ability for tenants to occupy and use and enjoy their space. We have the government taking unprecedented steps to hamstring landlords from enforcing the obligation to pay rent. And we have tenants assessing their space, trying to decide how much space they need, what they do have, how fit is it for purpose. And I think that unlike previous times of economic difficulty, so perhaps 2008 and the 1990s, back in those times, rent was still the priority for tenants. Payments of your rent have special status. Almost akin to payment of the tax liability, or the way that I approach the payment of my mortgage. And the reason for that is that at that time, although times are hard, landlords had a full armory of weapons, rather, to enforce payment of rent. Fast forward to now, and some of those remedies have been taken away, and it's going to get worse. There's going to be changes introduced to our insolvency laws. So I think that what that has produced is a psychological change for tenants. Suddenly, non-payment of rent is not quite the heinous sin that it once was, and so it's lost that special status, and that is a big psychological change in my mind.
And that changes the whole kind of office as a sort of blue chip investor asset. And at the same time that that's going on, you've got the big corporates like Twitter and Google releasing statements saying that they're allowing 100% remote working for their employees should they choose. Barclays have issued a statement saying that they can't envisage going back to their offices as configured. They're going to be rationalising and diversifying to have smaller offices around commuter hubs. And we also have had a number of our clients asking us to help them reevaluate their headquarter requirements. So with the big corporates giving those very bold statements to the market, you can see that having quite a big effect on the tenants who are sort of the medium to smaller size businesses who are actually really struggling from a cash flow perspective. You know, what do you think that effect is that going to have on those medium to smaller businesses, do you think, Tim?
Well, I think you're right what you say about the large corporates, and there is to my mind an element of trickle-down effect to all of this. But of course, tenants across the office market, be they large or small, are going to be looking at their obligations, looking to see when break rights arise, if they have them, when the leases come to an end, what is their ability to assign maybe part of their premises, and generally divest themselves of their obligations. So this drives disruption, which in turn drives change. So it's a very interesting time in the office market, and let's be clear, we're also going to see some disappearing tenants.
That's certainly a huge amount of disruption we're predicting, and a huge concern, I think, for our clients. What do you think that our clients are doing at the moment to get ahead of the changes that are coming?
Well, I think landlords are going to have to work harder to create value for those tenants. I think the balance of carrot and stick needs to be got right. So it's about being firm, but also fair. It's not just about enforcing rights. It's going to come down to relationship building and offering things that are perhaps outside the box or some sort of USP. So it's about holding discussion forums with tenants and really assessing their current and future needs and creating a product that is tempting to tenants in a world where perhaps tenants might be fewer and further between.
But looking ahead, what's the longer term change and trend that you see emerging? What's your prediction?
Well, I think that landlords are still reeling from the shock factor at the moment, and it's going to get worse with the June quarter because fewer tenants will pay, and certainly the changes around our insolvency laws may well be enforced by then. And so our landlord clients are preparing for this, and I'm doing a lot of work as a litigator seeking to educate them and coach them through what weapons they have at their disposal.
So Tim, before you go, what would be your top 3 tips for our clients getting ahead of the game?
Okay, top 3 tips. Firstly, I'd say think of the carrot as well as the stick. The stick is still important, but you can no longer rely upon it. So you have to manage your building more smartly and invest in the landlord and tenant relationship, because it will pay dividends in the longer term. The second thing I'd say is behaviours are key. Memories are long, and there will be businesses that go bust during this difficult time, where the entrepreneurs behind those businesses will set up new businesses in the future, because that's what entrepreneurs do, and they will remember the landlord that squeezed them as hard as that landlord could during such a difficult time. And then the last thing I would say is look under the bonnet of your investments, not just the investments you're currently holding, but if you are acquiring investments in the future, really interrogate those covenants to ensure that they are as pristine as they appear to be. So it's think of the carrot and stick, think of your behaviour, and finally, look under the bonnet.
And certainly, that's sort of the thing that you'll be helping clients with, is bread and butter. I mean, helping enforce those rights, but also remembering the stakes, and also from our side, acting for our investor clients, helping them assess and having that slick acquisition process, so that as and when they need to change their risk spread, that they're able to do that quickly and easily. Well, thank you so much for joining us today on the sofa. It's been so interesting to hear your perspective. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. It's certainly an interesting time to be a disputes lawyer, there's no doubt about that.
I can imagine. Thank you.